you want to stay broke in your 20s, continue living beyond your means. Continue getting comfortable with 5-figure credit card debt. Continue using buy now, pay later. Continue dipping into your savings every pay period because you needed to go on that vacation.
Hello everyone, this is Emmanuel Cook. We will be reacting to a new video today, so make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's get into the video.
Everyone is broke in their 20s. Everyone is broke in their 20s. It's not just me. It's not just you. We're all broke, okay? I don't think stability really happens till you're at least like 28, 29, 30. So just chill, just breathe.
Whenever you get an ounce of insecurity about where you are financially for your age, remind yourself that statistically, you are the poorest you'll ever be. Like if you're broke in your 20s or only beginning to care about your finances in your 30s, that's correct. I always tell my friends and my clients that there's no better time than your 20s and 30s to take risks, experiment, carve out your own values, screw up. And if you're saving or investing even a little during these chaotic years when you have the least amount of money, then you're way ahead of the curve. It'll likely only go up from here, and once it starts going up and the stakes are higher, that's when you really want to make sure you're making the most out of that bigger paycheck and getting paid what you deserve. Of course, life will be a lot easier down the line if you started developing these habits earlier on.
If I wanted to stay broke in my 20s, I would definitely upgrade my car every 3 years. I would probably live in a downtown luxury apartment without roommates. I would probably go out to eat like 3 to 4 times a week and do happy hours after work. I'd also buy designer clothes just to make sure people think I have lots of money, when in reality I probably don't. I would also use those buy now, pay later apps so I could make monthly payments instead of just buying things in full. I would definitely gamble on sports and buy weekly lottery tickets in hopes to get rich quick. And I would also just go on vacation and continue treating myself as if these early decisions have no future consequences on my life.
This is a lot of women's issues in our 40s and 50s. We have been working for so long that we're now just peeking our head up to see what's going on. We have been on the grind for so long that when you get about 40 and 50, you really start to look around and realize either you haven't, some people, this isn't for everybody, and this is everybody's case. This was my case. I worked for so long that I never really got to enjoy my life, right? Because of survival mode. And survival mode is we call it survivor's mode simply because you are not living or thriving. You're just barely surviving, which is a product of poverty, right? Because poverty teaches you to survive. I just got to make it over this hump. I just have to have enough money for this. And a poverty mindset is not about money or lack of money. Because there are many millionaires and multimillionaires that have a poverty mindset. Survival mode is the actual behavior that you have when it comes to your money and your finances. So let me give you an example. When in my 20s and my 30s, I was having kids. So being a mother and working and making sure they were taken care of became the priority. So there was no time for me to enjoy myself. I would feel guilty if I did anything for my money until I was like, bump it, I'm just going to do what I got to do. Like, go get my hair done. That was just part of my fixed budget, right? But a lot of times when we get to these ages of 40 and 50, this is when we start to wake up. And we got to realize hey, something's off here. I've been working. I've been taking care of this person. I've been taking care of that person. I've been doing this. I've been doing that. And I don't enjoy my life. Now, I don't know what other financial patterns she has from earlier layers. It could be that whole get in debt, get out of debt kind of pattern. It could be I have money at the beginning of the month and no money at the end of the month. But this whole survival mode thing needs to be broken off of our lives. Black women, my aunts who were black women had this saying. They said, black women don't get to do what they want to do, but they do what they got to do. And I remember hearing that as a little girl, young lady. And I was like, and I remember coming to agreement with that because that was what I saw. I saw my mother in survival mode. I saw my grandmother in survival mode. I saw my aunts in survival mode. I saw a lot of people in survival mode. And And I'm pretty sure you have too, because that is the mold Black women were taught. We don't always got to do what we want to do, but we definitely know how to do what we got to do. And that's a lie from the pit of hell, because I don't have to do what I want to do. I mean, I don't got to do what I got to do. I do what I want to do. And if I want to take care of my family, I'm going to take care of my family. But I'm not saying I'm not going to take care of my family. But what I am saying is that is not a lie. That is a lie I had to come out and agree with. So in order to break out of survival mode, one of the things you're going to have to do is you're going to have to renew your mind. And how do you renew your mind? By taking the lies that you believe that put you in survival mode, these cute quotes and, all the things we say as Black women. And I'm specifically talking to Black women, sorry if other people get it, whatever, I don't care. But, that is something that I can relate to, because that's what was taught to me. We, work hard, work hard, work hard, work hard. Keep your head down, work hard, work hard, work hard. But here's the problem with keeping your head down. You miss so much of life keeping your head down. And God never designed for any of his daughters to live in this mold called survival. So in order to break it, the first thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to come out of agreement and divorce yourself from every lie that dictates survival mode. So for example, the whole lie that, we got to do what we got to do kind of thing. Nah, that's a lie. You don't have to do everything you got, do what you got to do. No, that's not a lie. Do what you need to do. Do what you want to do. It's your life. You're the one that's going to have to take accountability for it. And the other lie, that this whole superwoman lie, we're not superwomen. I take the S off your chest. You're not superwoman, baby. Take the S off your chest. You ain't got to be superwoman. You can just be plain old you. There is no real reason for you to be superwoman. So that's how you start breaking off survival mode, by looking at your life and coming out of agreement with every lie that puts you in survival mode.
As someone in my early 30s, I see a big separation of people, two groups of people in their 30s that I see. One group of people who start to do the work in their 20s, whether that be financially, whether that be physically, emotionally. They started to go to therapy. They did the work, and now they are starting to see the fruits of their labor in their 30s are not as hard as it would be if they were just going through things and re-traumatizing themselves and doing the whatever. Then there are people who did not do that. There are people who spent their whole 20s really on bullshit, and now they're in their 30s and they're trying to play catch up. And there's no way you can really be on track in life, but there are things that set you back in life, because we hear this messaging throughout our 20s. You're young, do your thing, do this. It kind of leaves people to be irresponsible and not be in the driver's seat of their life. So they reach their 30s and they feel like this big emotional weight of the world on them, when that's not the case at all. So I'm just saying this because if you are in your 20s, take this opportunity to be a little more strategic. You are going to have fun. Yes, please have fun. Please do not commit to things that you should not be committed to, because your brain's not even fully developed. But also keep in mind that you are going to have fun throughout your whole life. And there are seasons that you need to rest and lay low and sit down and be strategic, and then seasons you need to pop out while you have that good balance. If you're in your early 30s and you were one of the opposite whatever, you still have time. Sit down with yourself and do that work now. So then when you reach your 40s, you can really reap the benefits of what you have sown in your 30s. That's all.
Last year I was so broke I had to move back in with my parents. This year my career's flying and I've got my own apartment in New York City. And the biggest difference between who I was then and who I am now is my ability to have a clear vision and work towards it. But that felt almost impossible when I was in survival mode, with the money going out my account more than the money coming in. So how could I even think about dreaming when I was too busy trying not to drown? But once I gave myself that wiggle room and space to breathe, I was able to sit down and set clear goals that I wanted out of my life, and I was able to work towards. So that made all those steps that didn't make sense before, like working for free or working a job that I didn't like, way easier, because now I had a clear, defined path that I was walking down. So if you're broke and you're in your 20s or even your 30s, because I was, there's still time. But you have to understand that life is going to get way worse before it gets better. But if you take every step, every action to work towards the goals that you set for yourself, 100% there is no reason you won't achieve them. Go out there, lock in, and you're going to get it. I promise.
Every time I get a promotion, raise, whatever it may be, the economy just shifts. I can't enjoy shit. I can't enjoy it the way that I should enjoy it. Like, my salary now is a salary that you could enjoy back in like 2020, even 2021. But now it's just like, what am I gonna do?
If you're totally broke and you feel like it can't get better, then listen to this video. I'm 31 years old now. For most of my 20s, I was in credit card debt. I was jumping around from different careers. I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. I wasn't excited. I was depressed. And so much has changed. So much has changed. I slowly started learning, changing my lifestyle, watching YouTube videos, learning about how to create content, how to start a business, how to do freelancing, and it really did change. So this video probably won't get a ton of views because it's not as controversial, but like you really can change your life if you start to learn, if you adopt a growth mindset. Listen to the content that's out there that improves your life. Start building things into your life that make it better. Learn skills, learn how to do things, start to create instead of consume. It's easier said than done, but it really can happen. And even if you're in your 40s, 50s, and you want to change careers, go on YouTube. This is the time to do it. People are creating, people are starting businesses. There's a ton of hope. I'm rooting for you.
Can we normalize just being broke in our 20s? Like, why are we all spending so much freaking money? I mean, if you got it, then you got it. But I just feel this insane amount of pressure to travel multiple times a year and buy all the latest trendy outfits and shoes and bags, and go to these expensive dinners that are photogenic and buy the $20 cocktail. I'm like, maybe I'm putting this pressure on myself, but also everything I see on social media is about spending money. It just makes me sad that social media has just been this big flex of like who can own the most stuff and who can go on the most luxurious vacations. And it's like, in reality, we are literally so young. We are in our 20s. This time is for like grinding and hustling and saving money and being okay with like our not perfectly put together homes and just like getting by. Obviously, no hate to anyone for living their life, but also if you're on here and you're feeling the same way, let's just agree that it's okay to like save our money and not spend every single penny that we make. Being financially responsible is cool, and I'm gonna normalize that.
If you grew up in the hood, or you grew up with a parent who never had their shit together, when you get older, you're afraid to not have your shit together. Like if you grew up and the lights was always off, your mama couldn't pay rent, couldn't pay bills, and y'all always getting evicted and kicked out and shit, you're gonna grow up to be a person who never miss a payment, who never want to be late, who always want to have their shit right. That is how I am. Because I grew up and shit was always never right, I just like paying my shit. I like to pay my rent on time, pay my utilities on time. When it comes to my car and shit, I don't like to be riding with fucking temp tags like I'm riding right now. I want to have all my shit registered. Like I'm one of them people. Like I just want, because it's like, it's too much work. Like I'd rather just do the work, spend the time and get it all done, than to be fuck around and I'm gonna just wait here and this and I don't like the waiting shit. Like give me my shit, give me my stuff so I can be done with it.
If you're in your 20s or 30s and you haven't figured out what you want to do with your life yet and you're broke.
When I was 26, I had no idea what I was doing with my life. I felt like a complete failure. I was making $20,000 a year and I was so depressed. And then a year later, I was 27, working a career that I loved and making six figures. It's absolutely crazy how much can change in a year, but in that time, I read a quote that said, the difference between someone who is successful and someone who isn't is how much they're able to tolerate. What I took from that quote is that my success is based on me. It's based on how hard I'm willing to work and how many obstacles I'm willing to overcome. I repeated that quote to myself every single time I thought that I had hit rock bottom, because I knew if I just kept working hard, I would eventually be where I wanted to be. If you're feeling like you're in this position right now, my biggest advice is stop worrying what other people are going to say, what they're going to think, what they're going to do, because at the end of the day, those people are not the ones that have your best interest in mind. This is one of my favorite pictures because you truly never know when your time is coming.
So I'm like in my 30s, so all my friends are like having babies, buying houses, getting master's degrees. And I felt so accomplished this week because I'm like, I got the keys to my fucking storage unit, making moves. And I'm like, it's literally 100 square feet and I'm just renting it. And it's like all I have to my name. And I'm just like, ooh, I'm such a grown up. I just signed a lease on a storage unit.
Here are 3 things that will keep you broke in your 20s. 1 is not tracking your expenses. Progress is only made if you track your progress. Same thing for if you want to lose weight, if you want to eat healthier, if you want to start cooking more. You're going to keep track of your progress, and while you reach each milestone, you celebrate. Same thing when it comes to money. Why does everyone think that I need a tracker for my workouts and my reading, my books list, and like going through that goal when I don't need the same version, but when it comes to budgeting? If you can't track it, you will not make progress. The second thing that will keep you broke is living beyond your means. You know what I'm talking about. I don't even need to explain this. Buying things that you feel a little bit uncomfortable because you didn't get paid that much to be able to afford that, and plus you're living class. That's called living beyond your means, when a purchase makes you uncomfortable. It should be as simple as that. Good rule I like to use for that one to stop myself from purchasing things that make me uncomfortable is I make the rule in my head that if I can't buy this thing that I want 2 times or even 3 times comfortably without feeling guilty, without feeling bad, and I can still be able to pay my bills and everything I need, then I'll buy it. But if I can't, then it's probably not meant for me right now. Please don't let social media or your friends influence you on what to buy, what the next trend is, because trust me, when you look back 10 years from now and you see that really weird top that you bought, like, why did you get that? Yeah, you got influenced. And keep in mind that everyone's financial situation is unique. So don't compare yourself to others because they're making the purchase, therefore you can. No. They might be a trust fund baby. You might not be. Different scenarios. And number 3 is not knowing how a credit card works. Credit card is the best tool to build up your credit from a very early age. As soon as you can qualify for a credit card at, I think, age 18 or 19 here in BC, that is a great tool to help you build up credit. So when you need to buy a car, when you need to take out a loan, when you need to buy a house, those loans, they come at a lower interest rate than someone with a worse credit score than you.
When it comes to credit, it can really range. You know, like, I have had really good credit and I've had very poor credit. I have had as high as, I think, 750 or something like that, and as low as like 520. Huge range. It really depends. 1 year, your credit can change so much from very high to all the way low, or low to really high. It really just depends, honestly.
My biggest fear is having no money at 30.
Life is not over if you're in your 30s and you're deemed as broke, okay? Whatever you consider broke, life is not over. All you need is to create either you script, write a list, or have a vision board of the goals that you want to obtain, and then put your head down and work towards it. Give yourself 2 to 4 years and you got the money, you know, whether that's anything related to STEM, you know, AI, anything regarding a business that you know that will do well after doing your research, all of that. But you got to have faith and belief in yourself. Now, it is kind of different. If you got kids, if you don't have that support that you need, it does start getting a little bit trickier, but you can still make your goals. Watching that video, I do understand what he was saying, because when you're in your 20s, you think it's time to have fun and do all this and all that. But then you really don't realize that, damn, when you get up there, you really do need that money, you know? I think anyone, of course, you should always have your mind on the money. But when you're 25, I feel like at 23, your head goes ding, like, what do I need to do, you know, to make sure I'm good? But at 25, that should be the cutoff to be like, all right, what am I doing out here? But for the most part, by that time, even if you're in your 20s doing all that stuff, you should still be where you're supposed to be at, okay? So I say it to say, don't fret. It doesn't matter what age, as long as you really set that goal and get down to it. And as long, I hope that you have the support and all that, you'll be straight. But that's all I'm saying. Like, have faith and belief in yourself. You can always change your life at any age. Unless you're super, super old. But yeah.
A quick reminder, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe down below. And let's continue the video.
As a 30-year-old woman who kind of has her stuff together, do not go into credit card debt trying to keep up with these influencers. These people are literally being paid to sell you a product. That little bit of dopamine hit that you get from unboxing a new package is not going to last when you get that credit card bill in the mail and you can't make your monthly payment. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't buy things and that you shouldn't, like, do nice things for yourself. But what I am saying is, be more judicious with your money. Like, this is your money. This is like literally your livelihood and your security. Like, don't just give it away to people just because something looks nice.
Hey, want to keep living paycheck to paycheck in your 20s? Here's what you're gonna do. Number 1, use credit cards as free money. #girl math. As long as you can keep making the minimum payment, who cares about where the rest of it comes from? All that debt is a problem for future you. Number 2, give in to FOMO. Your friend's going to a concert for an artist you don't even like? Who cares? Buy the ticket. Your favorite influencer just posted about that lipstick she's obsessed with. Add to cart. Don't think about the cost. All that matters is that those people did it, so you should do it too. Number 3, ignore your finances and the people talking about financial literacy. Tracking your expenses, who has time for that? Investing sounds scary, and $1 million in 30 years isn't even gonna be worth that much, so why bother? My parents said talking about money was rude, so don't think about that stuff. So there you go. A step-by-step guide to living paycheck to paycheck your entire life and never getting rich. And I guess if you did want to get rich for some reason, you could just do the opposite, but like, why?
I keep seeing videos about somebody exposing their friend about going out to the club being broke. I'm so glad I enjoyed my early 20s being broke because, baby, when I tell you I would go to the club with not even lint in my pocket, somebody go pay my way, somebody go buy me drinks, and I'm probably going to leave the club with more money than I went in. Baby, in my early 20s, I'm the same person that drove to New Orleans and I ain't had shit but like $30 on me. And it was like a 6-hour drive. Sometimes you just gotta say fuck it and just have a blast. I'm so glad that I'm not early 20-something in this day and age because y'all can't do nothing. Damn. My broke days, I had a blast, and when we went out, we looked after each other. Hell, if it's a group of us, everybody go foot the bill for that one person. We probably go talk shit. We probably go be mad than a motherfucker, but we gonna have a good time. Y'all too bougie for me.
You know what I think we should normalize more on social media is being broke as fuck. Like, I am a millennial. I am in my 30s. I don't make enough to pay my rent. Nope, can't do it. I require the help from my parents. I also don't pay my own phone bill because, yet again, that's something that I can't afford. I am extremely fortunate enough to have parents who are willing to help me because I know that there's so many people in my situation at my age that don't have that and still can't pay their bills. I have a job. I have multiple jobs. I work for a company at 2 different locations, and I work pretty much any moment that I don't have my children. It is a minimum wage job because I was a stay-at-home mom for 10 years, never got a college degree, really have no skills with anything. No workplace skills, so I'm starting at the bottom. I work with high schoolers. It is a high school job. I scoop ice cream and make popcorn. I'm also a barista at the other location. I work Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Saturdays I always have off because that is my only day with my kids. I refuse to work on that day because I need one day to spend with my kids. Like one full day because they're not in school. On Tuesdays, I work for my dad as a handyman, or I do house cleaning. Because working 5 days a week, minimum wage is just barely able to cover my rent. Not even able to cover my rent. That doesn't even include my utilities. Rent is extremely high where I live. And I can't move somewhere cheaper because my kid's dad lives here and we have 50-50 custody. Now, another one of my jobs is doing this. I create content. I don't make much money. The only reason why I would make money on here is if one of my videos happens to go like viral, like a couple million views. Then I might make maybe a couple $100, maybe. Right now, with how my views are, it's maybe $50 a month, if that. Last month, I think it was 20. Because I don't have as much time as I used to devote to creating creative content. And now that stopped doing their I don't make anything from that either. Now, why am I saying all of this? It's not to complain. I'm not complaining. I'm actually very fortunate. I'm fortunate enough to be able to live in the apartment that I'm in because of the people around me who are wanting to help me. But I am talking about this because I think that it's something we don't hear a whole lot on the internet, on social media. When I scroll through TikTok, I see these influencers who are living ridiculously lavish lives at least compared to me and how I live, very lavish lifestyles. And you know what? I love that. I love that for them. There's a lot of money to be made out there doing content creation, just on the internet in general. And they've obviously worked really hard to get to that point in their life where they can live that way. But I'm not there. And I think a lot of people are not there. And I just think it's something that should be talked about more and should be normalized, especially people my age. We grew up thinking that when you're in your 30s, you get your shit together. Like that's when you have your whole life put together. But that's not how it is. I don't have my shit together. My goal is not to own a house or drive a fancy car. My goal is to pay rent. I had the house and the car and everything, but after I got divorced, I decided to give that up and start my life over. And so now I'm living like I'm in my 20s. But I know that there are a lot of people in their 30s who are not making it, who are living with their parents again. That was actually something that I was considering doing for a while, is moving back home with my mom. And that's not something I want to do because I feel like that's such a giant step backwards, but it's something that needs to be normalized because so many people my age are living back at home because our parents own a house because they were able to buy a house way back then. We can't do that. We can't buy a house. I don't see myself ever buying a house. So anyway, all of this to say, if you are struggling financially, if you feel like you're 1,000 steps behind the rest of the world, maybe this will help you just not feel so alone. And if you are struggling, comment so that I don't feel so alone, because maybe this is just therapy for me. I don't know. Anyway, I hope you have a great day and things look up for you.
Being in your 30s is that people spend a lot of their time in their 20s being like, I'm so broke and I have no money and blah, blah, blah. But then you get to your 30s and people are buying houses and people are having children and people are throwing big fun weddings and people are going on trips. And you're like, wait a minute, I thought we had no money. And then you realize having no money, being broke, these things are relative. And people will always choose to prioritize things that are important to them, you know? It's all in your own time. And maybe you didn't have a job in your 20s where you could save money and you were living paycheck to paycheck, and that's fine. And now your 30s is about, you know, rebuilding and getting to a stable financial place. That is my story. That is my song. That is my testimony. And you know what? All in your own time. All in your own time. That's my reminder for today. Okay, bye.
It's all in your own time. There are years where you actually do have your stuff together, and there are years when you don't have anything together, you know, and it is part of life, guys. A lot of things can happen in life. So many things can happen, and it is up to you to recover in life. When life knocks you down, the only thing that you can do is to get up and just keep on pushing. That's it. There are years where you may even have to start your life over from scratch. It happens to a lot of people. And the best thing that you can do personally is to keep moving forward.
That when you get into your 30s, it gets better. What do y'all mean by it gets better?
What we mean is when you turn 30, you enter your prime. It's like the peak of your life. Because you're past your 20s where you care about what other people think of you, and you start to realize the importance of just living for you. That's why you see all these women in their 30s traveling and starting businesses, because you realize when you turn 30, first of all, 30 is not old. My life is just beginning, and it's just, I don't know, sis, something just clicks, okay? Something just clicks, and your 30s are the best time of your life. You're going to have a blast, so get ready.
I feel behind in life. It's no secret. I feel like that's what my content is. I'm about to turn 27 in less than a month, and I feel behind in life. Literally, I just feel like I'm a late bloomer all around with every single thing in life. Falling in love, have yet to experience falling in love. Just everything in life. But one thing I am behind in, which I'm actually grateful for, is being on my own phone plan. I'm not. I'm on my mom and stepdad's phone plan still, and this is when like being behind kind of has its perks, because I don't know what I'm going to do the day they kick me off. Like, the day they kick me off, I'm gonna be like, do you not love me anymore? But no, in all seriousness, you know, gotta look at the glass half full, I guess, and that is my glass half full. I don't have to pay for my own phone line at the moment. So, trying to be positive here.
Being childless in your 30s, early 30s is elite. I don't care what anyone tells me right now. I'm able to invest all my time, energy, and money into myself. I have found my girl for everything so far, almost everything. I have my nurse, I have my esthetician, I have my hair girl, I have my nail girl, I have my brow girl, I have my lash girl, I have my wax girl, I have my therapist who is a badass. Like, all of these women are helping me become a better woman, physically, mentally, spiritually, health-wise, and I'm so excited. If I had a child, I would have to take away from me and give to that child, and I'm sure that's a luxury in itself, but the luxury of being able to take care of myself, to level up, to make myself prettier and happier and everything, like, all I need now is I think I need to find an OBGYN, a dermatologist, possibly a nutritionist. I'm so happy. Like, the luxury of being able to do this in my early 30s will just mean that hopefully when I pop a baby out, I'll be the best version of myself.
I can't relate to any of these 20-year-olds who say they were in debt, they were broke, and they don't know how to save money. Because you're in your 20s, what are you spending on? And this is coming from a space where I had my dream job at 22. I was a flight attendant. I moved to London at 24, and I was able to live off of 70% of my salary, with the other 30% going into long-term savings, 401k, mutual funds, and other places for later in life. But here's the thing. I never really thought about the fact of what I didn't have. Because I was a flight attendant, I was always traveling, which meant I was on the plane. I was in hotels that were compensated by my employer. I had per diem that paid for my dinners. And I used those spaces to do what I wanted. I would often buy my skincare or clothes or things that I needed in countries where it actually costs less. Or I would have someone buy them for me. You see, my profession was the way for me to achieve the life that I wanted. And I also was in a space to know that when I wanted to shift professions, I will leave. I was never under this thought that this is my life forever. I truly believed that this is something that is giving me the lessons for what's next. And it wasn't sheer delusion. I just believed I could do anything. Now, again, because I was with the airline and we could commute from anywhere. So we could live in one city and commute somewhere else. And there were bases all around the world. I never doubted that I could live in these other cities. So when I was based in London and I moved to London, the thought was never, how am I going to make it? How am I going to afford it? It was, the opportunity is there and I will capitalize off of the opportunity. And once I did it once, I saw I could do it again. And again, this was years ago. I moved to London in 2008 when the exchange rate was over $2. So £1 was equal to $2.08. Furthermore, I wasn't compensated in the local currency. I was paid in US dollars that was put into my UK bank account. So let's say I made $1,000. It was immediately less than 500 pounds. And I didn't care because I was going to make it work. And after I moved to London, I saw that I could do it, and I moved to Paris. And then I moved back to London. I was kicked out of the UK, but that's another TikTok. I was living in New York and I questioned, where else do I want to live? It was never, can I afford it? Do I know people there? Where can I go that would be easy? No, if I'm here to live life, I'm going to live my life. And that's when I moved to Hawaii. So when I share, I can't relate to you if you have debt. It's because I have so much currency within me that I am going to live this life, baby. I am going to dream and cash in on my dreams. I will make it work. I will make a way. And often I've shared, I'm not looking at the economy outside of me. I'm looking at my own personal economy, which is always thriving. You will have to shut off everything that seems logical to achieve what you want. And what you want is worthy for you, because I say the dream is the blueprint. That dream, that vision, that scene of that thing that keeps showing up, it's because it has been given to you to bring into this reality. Debt can be cleared. It can. But that dream, that thing that you wish to do, will never leave your mind. So forget anything that is restricting you from trying, from believing, from achieving. It will take everything in you to be it, and you are already it. So just start acting as it. There's so much in the world for you to accomplish. However, you have to give yourself permission to be that aspirational, and it's meant for you to have. So go get it.
So I posted a video recently and it honestly got all the men in the comments really angry. And all I said in the video was, if you're a guy and you're partying in your late 20s and then you get to 30 and you're like, oh no, I'm broke. And then these are the same guys that try and go after the younger girls, because once they hit their 30s, a lot of the girls in their 30s are actually taken. Or the women that are in their 30s are independent and financially stable, so they expect you to be as well. And these are the same guys that tend to go for the younger girls that not only have a lot of options of men that are successful, but also good looking. Men might say that yes, women have a biological clock, but men sure have a financial clock. And also, your sperm doesn't stay good forever. And obviously, if you have been taking the time to work hard and you've been doing your best and you're still not where you are, then this video doesn't apply to you. But yes, long story short, you do have a financial clock.
I appreciate you guys watching the video today. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.